Hello everyone and welcome back into another video. Today we're back in Warframe with another weapon showcase, and this time it's the Caustacyst. This is an infested scythe. It does also have corrosive already built into the weapon, which makes it very nice against Grineer and any other armored enemy. And it also has a very cool unique mechanic that allows you to leave this trail of corrosive on the ground after you do a charge attack, and it looks something like this. So now we have this trail on the ground that is approximately 10-20 meters-ish, I think. Let's try again. It's about 20 meters, I think. And although it doesn't deal any huge amount of damage by itself, but it does apply corrosive, and that is what we want. I'm sorry if I sound a little bit weird, but I caught a cold a couple days ago and I'm still recovering, so yeah, my voice isn't exactly the same as usual. And with that said, let's now jump into the build. Okay, so this time I am actually going to use 2 Archon Shards for this melee build because it does increase the weapon potential by a tremendous amount, which I think it's worth considering. I mean, you cannot use them if you want to, but they are very powerful, and reaching full armor strip is a very big damage increase. So if you want to get the most out of the Caustacyst, do invest in a couple of Emerald Archon Shards with 2 additional corrosive statuses. Alright, so the melee itself does have a very normal range of 2.9 meters. The attack speed is also 1, which is very neutral. Riven disposition is a 4 out of 5, which makes Rivens very powerful, and I do suggest investing in Rivens because they are not that expensive, and I think you can get very good stats out of them. So usually you won't consider building into critical hits, but if you really want to invest in crits, you need Sacrificial Steel, because that at least gives you almost 30% crit chance, and you want to use Arcane Avenger. That way you have a nice amount of crit chance, and if you really want to go all the way into it, you just have to use Kullervo. That will give you free red crits with any weapon. So yeah, if you want to really invest into crits, Kullervo and Sacrificial Steel and Arcane Avenger if you're not using Kullervo, I guess, but yeah, those are the 3 things you want to use. The total damage is 416, which is very high, and yeah, the highest damage types are Corrosive at 164.8, Puncture at 113.6, and Slash at 110.4, with just a little bit of impact left. And we also don't have to worry about electricity mixing into corrosive, because that will not happen. Electricity will stay outside the corrosive damage, so yeah, we can have corrosive, electricity, and even viral or any other damage types we want. Moving to the actual build, this is what it looks like, and it only focuses on statuses, which I think it's the best way to build the weapon, so that's what I'm going for. I don't have an Excellus weapon adapter yet, so let's just fix that real quick. Let's add a cheeky forma here so we gain a little bit of more space, and we can now equip our Excellus mod. And for me, it's not going to be Dreamer's Wrath because crit damage isn't exactly a thing we want, so use either Discipline Merit if you want more frequent Tennokai attacks, but for me it's going to be Condition to Perfection because it does increase status chance by an additional 100% on Tennokai attacks, and that is what I'm going to focus on this build, so status all the way. Of course, you can use any stance you want. I just went for this one because I didn't want to put the extra forma inside my aura, so there we go. And then I'm using Prime Fury for attack speed, Prime Reach for more range, Volcanic Edge and Vicious Frost for blast damage, which is going to become very spicy when we strip enemies of their armor by applying 14 stacks of corrosive. Condition Overload for more overall damage, depending on how many status types are affecting the target. Weeping Wounds for status chance on combo multiplier, so a lot more status chance, Voltaic Strike for electricity and status chance, and finally I'm using Carnis Mandible for 90% more slash damage and 60% more status chance, or it can even be melee Elementalist that increases your electricity and blast damage, and also increases your heavy attack wind up speed by 60%. This is actually a very solid option, and if you want to use this one, I actually think it might be better than just using Carnis Mandible overall, but yeah, we have options, so we'll try both of those. And finally, this is a melee influence build, so we are using the Arcane melee influence to spread all our statuses to all the enemies within 18 meters for 15 seconds. Now, the build with Carnis Mandible looks something like this, and just as a reminder, I'm using Nidus with 2 green shards to remove all enemies' armor when we reach 14 stacks of corrosive. What I do is use the forward hold combo, which looks like this, and it is very mobile and it does hit a lot of enemies, and the moment we start attacking enemies and spread corrosive, and all the other things, yeah, enemies will just disappear. And we can even throw a heavy attack in there just for good measure, which is always fun. Let's try again. We spawn the enemies, and yeah, they are not gonna survive that long because a lot of things are happening. We can even throw a heavy attack, and now everything is dead. It is that easy and that beautiful. Now, to compare this with melee Elementalist, it's going to perform very similarly. You're just going to see bigger numbers on those status damages. So yeah, let's see what this can do. So again, I'm going to use the same combo as before, the forward hold combo. And let's see, we have a free heavy attack, and yeah, everything is now dead again. It does deal more damage on those status procs, which yeah, really helps with the build. So again, let's just do the forward hold combo without any other thing. And yeah, it is quite impressive. It's pretty similar to the Carnis Mandible one. They're very similar, and you can use whichever you want. I just enjoy using Carnis Mandible once in a while because it's a very cool mod, and the additional set effect is nice to have, so there we go. If you don't like blast damage, we can then use gas damage, and the build is literally the same. I only swapped Vicious Frost for Virulent Scourge, so yeah, everything is going to be the same. The only thing that changed was blast. Let's see how this performs with both Carnis Mandible and melee Elementalist. So this one is with Carnis Mandible. Let's just do the forward hold combo, and yeah, you can see there's no like big instant damage, but it does ramp up a little bit slower than the blast one. And well, that is because gas needs to build to 10 stacks, and it only stays at 10 stacks, so it's a bit slower than blast, which just refreshes and deals a ton of damage, but it is still pretty solid. Now for melee Elementalist, again, the build is the same. I'm just removing Carnis Mandible and adding melee Elementalist. Let's then again use the forward hold combo, throw a heavy attack now because why not? And yeah, this time melee Elementalist does perform a lot better because gas benefits quite a lot from it. And yeah, I think this is just straight up better than Carnis Mandible. So let's try again with melee Elementalist, forward hold combo. Let's just hit the most amount of enemies we can, and they're already dead. Even without the heavy attack, you know, the Tennokai attack, yeah, the enemies are dead. So for gas, definitely use melee Elementalist. Those are the two final builds. For the blast one, I do prefer Carnis Mandible just for personal preference, but you can still use melee Elementalist. And the gas build, you really want to use melee Elementalist because those gas procs are completely insane. If you're curious about what Kullervo can do with heavy attacks, it is interesting, and my Kullervo doesn't have any Archon Shards, so before we do that, let's just shoot the weapon with the gas build first and the blast one without armor shipping, and it does look something like this. So yeah, it's pretty much the same, but of course Kullervo does have a bigger advantage with melee weapons, so keep that in mind. And now for the blast build without the corrosive stacks, it does look something like yeah, it's a bit slower, but the moment you blast the enemies, it becomes a monster as always. So yeah, I do prefer, again, armor shipping, but if you don't want to use green shards, it's still quite powerful. Now the blast build, but with Kullervo's buff, yeah, this is not gonna be exactly fair, because yeah, it is not fair for the enemies. And now with the gas build, let's get our buff, and again, it's not gonna be fair for the enemies at all. Even without Tennokai, they're already dead, so yeah, if you want to bring the most out of this weapon, either use Kullervo or 2 green shards to add the full armor shape, and yeah, enemies will not like any of those combos. And yeah, that is pretty much the Caustacyst. I'm going to leave you to the showcase now, where you can see the weapon with both builds in a more realistic scenario, which as always is going to be a Greener survival in the Still path. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, remember to leave a like and subscribe for more content. Have a great rest of the day, and bye bye.
Drops on the floor alongside my spear. My
lost in your eyes like the water. As the tide, it consumes me. You would never save me if my walls came down. That is underwater, you would let me drown. Watching as I suffocate. Darling, pull the trigger, honey, steal my crown. Choke me till I black out, put your hands around. Hurt out my heart, I'm guilty. She said, worship me, worship me. I control the air you breathe. Worship me, worship me. My forgiveness set you free. Worship me, worship me. I control the air you breathe. Worship me, worship me. My forgiveness sets you free. Cast your sins away to Him. Go a garden safe from murder. Fill the forest with your king. You would never save me if my walls came down. Head is underwater, you would let me drown. Watching as I suffocate. Darling, pull the trigger, honey, steal my crown. Choke me till I black out, put your hands around. Hurt out my heart, I'm guilty. She said, worship me, worship me. I control the air you breathe.